Hi everyone. We will see today why multi-tenant SaaS architecture is crucial for efficient, scalable deployments. Multi-tenancy is the heart of every successful SaaS platform. This is important. Instead of deploying one app per customer, you serve all customers through a shared, intelligently isolated architecture. You will not find such a video anywhere. There are hundreds of videos on building SaaS solutions using containerized deployments, but how to share your application across multiple clients. And here we call tenants. Hi, welcome to Techie Talks AI. I'm Sri from Schogini. On this channel, we showcase hands-on demos and insights into AI automation and no-code tools. We have created several make.com modules to simplify no-code automation for you. Subscribe and join us on this journey into the future of technology. Each of those tenant is one SaaS customer. This ensures low-cost, simplified maintenance, faster scaling, and real-time innovation delivery to every tenant. That is every customer, every SaaS client, all from one code base. It's a foundation for modern SaaS efficiency and portability. The problem, inefficient per customer deployments. In traditional single tenant setup, every new customer means a new deployment. Soon you are maintaining dozens of isolated environments, each needing updates, monitoring, and security patches. This quickly turns into a maintenance nightmare and cost spiral. Your engineering team spend time fixing duplicates instead of innovating. And the solution, multi-tenancy. Multi-tenancy solves this by allowing one running instance of your app to serve many clients, each isolated by logic and data. Every tenant gets personalized features, limits, and branding, but shares the same infrastructure and the code base. This design provides economies of scale, instant updates, and predictable performance, perfect for cloud efficiency. Why Fast API fits perfectly? Fast API's asynchronous architecture makes it ideal for multi-tenant SaaS. It can handle thousands of concurrent requests, each tied to a tenant ID. You can load tenant configuration dynamically, isolate sessions, and even customize models per tenant. Fast API plus Docker gives you a lightweight, containerized, cloud-native backbone for modern SaaS apps. Now, why it's crucial for the future of SaaS? As SaaS moves forward, AI-powered and hyper-automated services, multi-tenancy becomes essential. It enables personalization, dynamic scaling, cost optimization, and global rollout with minimal overhead. Your business evolves from a product to a platform serving infinite clients automatically and efficiently. And here is the demo. Before that, let's look at the important aspects of this. It starts with an endpoint session, and there is another endpoint, and there can be many, but this session is the main thing. Okay, the client or the browser or the JavaScript running in your browser will make a call to the session endpoint. It will also pass a tenant-bound session ID, and all other endpoints, including chat, enforces tenant isolation. For the demonstration purpose, I have created a simple JSON-L, which is a line-based JSON, where each line represents one tenant. So we have the tenant ID Acne, Globex, okay, and some parameters pertaining to this tenant. Depending on the tenant ID, the application behaves uniquely with different resource types, different responses, limits, and models. A simple yet powerful escalation of scalable SaaS design. Let's start the application first. Docker compose up -d. I will provide the entire code and the documentation along with this video. Okay. Okay. Application is running. Let's clear the screen. And what we will do is we will call the session endpoint with a tenant ID. Let's first call this without any parameter. See here, it says missing parameters. So let's pass a tenant ID. See here, it gives back a session ID and also some additional parameter specific for this tenant. So let's format it using JQ. See here, tenant ID, tenant's name, Acne Corporation, and a welcome message. If you're building a SaaS chatbot, this can have the chatbot logo and additional information needed for your front end. So we are only passing safe information needed for the front end. Let's change the tenant ID to Globex. See here, it gives Globex Inc. and the welcome from Globex, a message and a session ID. Let's do this for InfiTech. JQ is the JSON formatter. So it says unknown tenant ID. So let's look at the tenants. It is Initech, CH. The information is coming from the tenants.json. And later, once we understand this well, we will upgrade this to a SQL database so that the tenant details come from the database. But let's get the idea very clear. So now what do? We will see how session works. Okay, so what we will do is we will run these scripts to get the current session ID for each of those tenants. Okay, so that we can use the session ID. We will store the session ID in these three variables. This is how we get the session ID, but quickly save the session ID in these variables. See, Acne session ID, Globex session ID, and Initech session ID. So we have the session IDs ready. Now what we will do is we will pass a specific session ID and call the chat endpoint. See here is the response, JQ. This is an example of how we can call another endpoint and get the interaction authenticated. So here, the parameters that we pass, this is the parameter that we need to pass when you call the chat endpoint. See here, we need to know the tenant ID. That is what we pass first to get the session. And all subsequent calls to the chat endpoint, we need to also include the session ID. So with the tenant ID and session ID, our backend can authenticate the user. Okay, so this way, we can segregate different tenants sharing the same application. If you call the chat endpoint, it'll respond. Okay, so in case if you change the tenant ID to something else, if you change it to Globex, see, session does not belong to tenant. So that way it validates. So for Globex to work, we need the Globex session ID. See, session does not belong to the tenant, and for Globex to work, you need to change this session to Globex session. Let's see here. It's authenticated. Are you getting the point? How we identify different tenants by passing the tenant ID. And first call will only need tenant ID. All subsequent calls to all the other endpoints will need the tenant ID and the session ID. And using the session ID, we can do all other authentications, including rate limiting, etc., which we will see in subsequent videos. So let's quickly summarize. Multi-tenancy lets you serve thousands of customers with a single infrastructure. It reduces operational complexity, enhances security, and multiplies profitability. Once you master it, scaling from 10 to 10,000 customers becomes a configuration change, not a deployment challenge. Getting it? Now, where do we go from here? What are the advanced enhancements for next level SaaS efficiency? Now that the foundation is ready, let's explore how to expand it to a production grade system with better security, observability, and automation, and of course, AI integration. These enhancements transform a working prototype into a fully commercial SaaS platform. Tenant-aware authentication and authorization. Add a tenant authentication with JWT or OAuth2 and role-based access control, RBAC. We will see them. Each tenant can have unique users, admins, and privileges. include audit trails and access logs for compliance. This step enforces strong isolation and accountability between clients. Centralized configuration service. Move tenant data from static files to dynamic database like PostgreSQL or MongoDB. Use API to add, suspend, or update tenants in real time. This enables instant onboarding and live tenant management without redeployments. Metrics monitoring and rate limiting. Integrate Prometheus and Grafana to visualize per tenant performance and usage. Add Redis-based rate limit to ensure fairness and prevent abuse. Real-time monitoring makes your SaaS self-aware and self-healing. We have covered several videos on rate limiting, but we will also see in this context how we can include rate limiting in subsequent videos. So remember to stay tuned. AI-driven customization per tenant. We do this in our chatbot clients as well. Assign unique AI models and embeddings and prompt templates for each tenant. This creates personalized AI chatbots or assistants or agents that reflect each branch tone and domain. AI becomes your key differentiator in a multi-tenant world. Modular microservices and shared infrastructure. As the system grows, split it into dedicated microservices, auth, tenant, chat, analytics. Use Docker or Kubernetes to orchestrate them. This design enables fault isolation, horizontal scaling, and continuous deployment. I have written a book on Docker in 2018, and I was also a certified Kubernetes administrator. Now comes the important part, billing, subscription, and quota management. We have covered a video on OpenAI Paywall, how to incorporate the payment system for API usage, like OpenAI. Automate monetization, track usage, enforce quotas, bill per tenant using Stripe, Razorpay, or PayPal, or any other payment system. Introduce free, pro, and enterprise plans. Turn your SaaS into a fully autonomous revenue engine. Deployment and DevOps efficiency. Implement CI/CD pipelines. I am a GitLab certified CI/CD trainer. Implement CI/CD pipelines for testing and automating rollouts. Adopt Kubernetes for scaling, rolling updates, and zero downtime deployments. With container orchestration, your SaaS becomes cloud resilient and future-proof. Intelligent auto-provisioning and tenant lifecycle management. Build automation that provisions tenants automatically when users sign up, so they get instant access to your SaaS. Handle onboarding, suspension, and archival seamlessly. This creates a touch-free growth mechanism. Tenants appear and retire without manual effort. Developer and customer dashboards. Provide intuitive dashboards for developers and tenant admins. Show metrics, invoices, AI preferences, and user management tools. A good dashboard bridges technical excellence with customer trust. Wrapping up the vision ahead, from a simple fast API demo, we can grow into a full SaaS ecosystem. Each tenant can have its own data, model, billing, and analytics, yet all share one scalable code base. This architecture ensures long-term sustainability and innovation speed. Stay tuned for more practical videos. Remember, such videos are very useful for SaaS automation agencies, especially when you build your own SaaS solutions. This is only part one of our SaaS journey. In next tutorials, we'll build tenant authentication and JWTs, database-driven configuration instead of the tenant JSON-L that we saw here. AI enhanced with unique chat and RAG for each tenant, building dashboards and live metrics. Stay tuned. This is Sri signing off from Techie Talks AI. The transformation from demo to deployable SaaS has just begun. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Your support really helps. Have ideas or suggestions? Drop them in the comments. Let's build together. At Schogini, we offer expert NoCodeMake.com and Python AI automation consulting with ready-to-use modules to jumpstart your projects. Stay tuned and subscribe for more.